The morning breaks, the shadows fall, the trumpet's call is loud for all. A battle's brewing, can't you see? Good and evil, eternity. The wind is howling, the ground it shakes, but faith in Him will never break. It's time to stand up and fight. The battle is raging day and night. Put on the armor, don't delay. Stand strong in the faith, come what may. The breastplate gleams, the helmet shines, the shield of truth protects our mind. Sword in hand, His word our guide. We march with courage, side by side. It's time to stand up and fight. The battle is raging day and night. Put on the armor, don't delay. Stand strong in the faith, come what may. When the darkness tries to steal your name, remember His power, it stays the same. Though storms may rise and the heavens roar, the victory's won forevermore. It's time to stand up and fight. The battle is raging day and night. Put on the armor, don't delay. Stand strong in the faith, come what may. It's time to stand up and fight. The battle is raging day and night. Put on the armor, don't delay. Stand strong in the faith, come what may.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the morning. Appreciate you guys pulling up, man. I hope you guys are blessed and doing well on this fine Thursday morning. Happy Friday Eve to each and every one of you guys, man. God bless you all for pulling up this morning. We got a good show. We're going to start off the show with something, that broke yesterday down there in Georgia at Fort Stewart. We got to talk about it. It's unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate situation. Thoughts and prayers, to our service members down there in Fort Stewart, those that were harmed, as well as, those that just went through this, traumatic event. But before we do that, and before we get into that, I want to make sure that I show some love to my folks in the chat. A little bit of housekeeping as well. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't done so for me already. Super chat, super thanks would be greatly appreciated. That's how we keep this thing going. And I appreciate all my ARP family members, man. Shout out to each and every one of you guys that support the channel financially on a month-to-month basis, man. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Appreciate you guys supporting me as well. And man, this is awesome, man. This is awesome, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you very much. Shout out to Lori Addison pulling up. First thing in the chat says, happy Thursday, Wise and ARP family. Hit that like on the way in, please. Shout out to John Q. Says prayers for the family and the victims, absolutely, and the service members. There as well. Anytime you go through a traumatic event like this, you being around, being around it, can cause some harm to you mentally, right? What's going on, Marla? How you doing this morning? What's up, Michelle? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Soul Driver? Appreciate you pulling up. Kevin Caldwell in the building. Redefined Queen in the building. Toy Mafia in the building. What up, Nelly? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got my guy Hunter with the verse of the day. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Romans chapter 5, verse 8. Thank you very much, Hunter, man. Appreciate you. What up, LJ? How you doing this morning, sister? Appreciate you pulling up. We got Darlings. Is that Darling of Insanity? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Sugar Shane, what's going on with you, brother? Appreciate you pulling up. Excuse me. What's up, B? How you doing? I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves down there in Florida. Not going too hard, not overindulging. What's going on, Dana? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Melissa? Aloha to you. Out there in Honolulu. What time is it out there? Was it 3:30? Hanging out with us. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. What's up, Quincy? What's going on, brother? Donald Lovejoy in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Dagny Taggart, shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Israel Pena, appreciate you pulling up this morning. Voices for the Voiceless, appreciate you pulling up this morning. George Santiago, shout out to you. Okie Angel, appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Dr. Kyla? How you doing this morning, sister? Appreciate you pulling up. R Black Pearl 7, appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's going on, Malachi? What up with you, brother? Be safe out there on the road, man. Y'all make sure y'all give keep Malachi lifted up in prayer, man. He be out there on the road doing what he do. Traveling grace to you, brother. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Amber Young? Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Zephyr K9 in the building. Shout out to you. Junior Ray. D. Surrey. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Shout out to you. We got Cap Dunn out of Guam. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Noble Victory in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. Maddie W, appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. What up, Paul? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Billy W, what's up, Angela Montgomery? Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. All right. I could have sworn I saw somebody that was, this is the first time in the chat. If you are the first time, if this is your first time in the chat, let me know so we can show you some love. What's up, Chester? How you doing this morning? Massachusetts in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. All right, who else we got up in here this morning? We got Ron the Don Smith in the house. Shout out to you. What's up, Krista Knight? Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Bordeaux? Appreciate you pulling up. All right. I think it was D. Surrey. I think that's who it was. Y'all make sure y'all show him some love in the chat. First time in the chat. I believe that's who it was. What's going on, Plain Old Joe? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Oh, there we go. I don't know, man. The guy out in Cincinnati, not Cincinnati, but out in New York, we got that information pretty quickly. But when it's a service member, it's very easy to get that information. We're going to talk about that. It's very easy to get that information if it's a service member because the government has all of the information, right? They have it all. But, leave it to somebody who, want to bring the race into it. Hey, if he was white, we wouldn't know anything. I disagree with that. But, it's your business. Hello, No Face. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, Reza Mahmood? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got Paula Shackelford out of Texas. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Dion? How you doing this morning, sister? Hope all is well with you out there in Missouri. All right. We're going to get things kicked off. Like I said, hit that like button. What's up, RJ Hudson? What up, C. Bergie? What's going on? We got, is it Olawa Sue? Oh, Don't hurt me. I'm sorry, but appreciate you pulling up this morning. Orange County, New York, in the house. Shout out to you. What up, Big B? Appreciate you pulling up this morning, man. Appreciate you pulling up. All right, we're gonna get things kicked off, man. We're gonna get things kicked off, but y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Make sure you hit that like button for me. Super chat, super thanks, greatly appreciated. And we're gonna get things going, man. We're gonna get things going. And yeah, we gotta kick things off. It's a heavy story to start the show off today. But we gotta talk about it, right? We gotta get there. I don't think this is something that, should be made a racial issue. But for whatever reason, you always got folks that want to take it and want to make it a racial issue. It's not, but let's get the show started, man. Like, share, make sure y'all, if you're not subscribed to the channel, you should be subscribed to the channel already. Appreciate you guys, man. Let's get it going.
Now on the active shooter situation at Fort Stewart Army Post in Georgia. A suspect is in custody after bullets rang out in the facility's 2nd Brigade combat area. And looking at this, Fort Stewart is located about an hour southwest of Savannah. And you heard me mention previously that authorities in Savannah are offering their help along with Georgia State Police. So this is really a situation that has accumulated so much help around because of its proximity to areas. So the base is on lockdown. It remains so. 5 people are injured. No person is confirmed dead at this point. So we pray that that remains the case. We are monitoring the situation. We'll bring you any new information. Fort Stewart is located, again, not far from Savannah. It is home to the U.S. Army's 3rd Infantry Division. Thousands of soldiers and their family members are assigned to this base. There are elementary schools both on post and off, and those elementary schools have been put on a hard lockdown on post, a soft lockdown as you feather out away from the post. The Associated Press says this is the largest Army post east of the Mississippi River.
All right, so shocking incident that hit close to home for our military communities. I know we got some Army folks up in here. I know we got a lot of veterans that watch the channel. Yesterday, gunfire erupted at Fort Stewart, a major Army base in Georgia, actually the largest base east of the Mississippi, leaving 5 soldiers injured. Praise the Lord that none of them have perished. They're all still alive. I believe they're all in the hospital at this point, but they are all still alive. It all went down in the 2nd Armored Brigade combat team area around 10:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The base went into a full lockdown mode around 11:04 a.m. after reports of an active shooter. And let me tell you, this is the kind of news that sends chills down your spine. I mean, thankfully, the shooter was apprehended by 11:35 a.m. and the all clear was given just over an hour later. The suspect, who has been identified by law enforcement as 28-year-old Cornelius Rafford, who is an Army sergeant. There's no motive. No one really has a full understanding as to what happened, why this happened, but it did happen. So we got to talk about it. Oh, snaps. Wrong thing. I hate when that happens. All right, so this brother right here, this young man, like I said, the motive, it's still unknown. And honestly, there's no real justification for what this individual did. I don't think so. He turned a weapon, on his fellow soldiers. And if for any of you guys that know anything about the sergeant is an E5. Typically, it's what would be considered in the military a middle management role. So he has people above him, but he has a number of soldiers that report to him. And this is just a very, very unfortunate situation. And to be honest with you, this type of action, hey, I don't think there's any punishment that is too severe. I would assume that he is going to find himself in Leavenworth. I would assume. I'm just making assumptions here. The Army CID, they are currently investigating, and early reports confirmed that the weapon that was used was not his military issued weapon. And that alone raises serious questions about base security. But to an extent, it really doesn't, because you know what? I'm not going to say that on here. I'm not going to say that on here. They're going to have to tighten up, on these bases though. And while we don't know yet, if this was a one-off act or, a symptom of something deeper, could have been a mental health crisis, could have been an infiltration, could be just pure rage. Doesn't change the outcome. He attacked his own brothers. If you know anything, about the military, anything, about the Army, regardless of your race there, hey, we in this thing together. We may not even deal with each other like that, on post outside of work. But typically, if we see one of our folks, one of our shipmates, one of our soldiers, in despair, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna step in and help. Now, again, after that, we may get back to the ship. We may get back on post, and hey, nothing. We may not have any more communication after that. But because you rock the uniform, because we're part of the same group, because we're on the same ship, because we're on the same post, typically, we hold each other down. Now, it does turn out, they got a bunch of background information that's already come out on the guy. He had a DUI arrest back in May, that it wasn't reported up the chain, which is, that's not a normal thing. Normally, when things like this happen, everybody knows it from, whoever his, I can't remember what the actual rank would be for E7 in the Army. Somebody help me out. What's the E7 in the Army? I know in the Navy, it's a chief. I can't think of it right now off the top of my head, but it could have been a situation where we just don't know. Maybe he cracked under pressure. Who knows? We don't know. It could have been a situation where, he just, weak individual, maybe he's suffering some form of, mental health issue. It's a bunch of speculation right now because there's still a lot of, there's still a lot of investigation. Thank you, Sergeant First Class. Thank you very much. I know Marine Corps is a gunny. That I knew for sure. I wasn't for sure what the Army E7 rank is actually called. But, who knows? Maybe the young man, maybe he never really had, anybody, to look up to in that way. But in the end of the day, this situation is it's unacceptable. He failed morally, mentally, spiritually. This is a failure. He attacked unarmed men and still lost because they were better. And this is a sobering reminder that our troops face danger even within their own ranks. So let's just pray for justice, and let's pray that it is swift and that it is final. Thankfully, no one was killed, thankfully. Because this situation could have gone it could have been so much worse, right? I want to make sure that we, keep those soldiers lifted up in prayer. Not only those that were hit by gunfire, but those that were around, those that experienced this traumatic event. Let's make sure that we keep them lifted up in prayer. These are the kind of things that really stay with you. They do. They stay with you for a while. So let's make sure that we keep those folks, those young people lifted up in prayer down there, man. Let's make sure we do that. All righty. With that being said, I want to move on to my next story. We gotta get into another a bombshell story that happened the other day. One that says everything about where our cities are heading, especially our major cities, and how unserious our leaders are, and why Trump is once again stepping in to say what we're all thinking. But let's rewind for a quick second. I'm sure you guys remember Edward Korstein, or the young man that they called Big Balls. I'm sure you guys remember that, right?
That's Why do they call you Big Balls?
I just said it as my LinkedIn username.
Okay.
Well, people on LinkedIn take themselves like super seriously, and they're pretty adverse to risk. And I was like, well, I want to be neither of those things. So I said it, and honestly, I didn't even think anyone would notice.
Uh, talk about not being risk averse. Goodness gracious. But I will say this. He's definitely not risk averse. It's definitely not that, because he single-handedly and heroically saved a young woman from a mob of individuals out there in DC. And y'all got to see what he got for it. You got to see what he got for it.
News, President Trump is threatening a federal takeover of D.C. after police say a former DOJ employee was brutally beaten in the nation's capital.
Truly unbelievable. Lucas Thomason joins us live in Washington. Lucas, these type of attacks have been happening for years now.
They sure have, Lawrence. Good morning also to Ainsley and Griff. For those eating breakfast, the image that we just showed you and we're about to show you again is tough to watch. The 19-year-old former DOJ staffer known as Big Balls was beaten by a violent mob of minors in the nation's capital in a popular part of town, according to police. A 15-year-old man and a 15-year-old woman were arrested and charged with unarmed carjacking. The attack prompted...
Okay. Yeah, this is wild. Let me see something real quick. All right, so here's what went down. There's a former DOJ employee, 19-year-old youngin, Edward Korenstein, also known as Big Balls online. He was brutally attacked in Washington, D.C. in what appears to be an attempted carjacking, according to reports. Now, if you guys know anything about D.C., this carjacking situation is serious, and it's normally youngins that are doing this. He was out with a woman in the city when a group of minors approached them and made a move towards the car. For her safety, Korenstein pushed his girlfriend into the vehicle and confronted the group. And that's when they jumped him. A group of teenagers beating him senseless. Elon Musk himself confirmed the story on X, saying that Big Balls was beaten to the point of a concussion. And all of this happened while he was trying to defend a woman from assault. I mean, this is wild. I want you guys to see this right here. Let me pull this up. Give me a second. So as you can see here, I want to pull this up. This was I guess from Truth Social, and this young man, if y'all guys know anything about DC, if you know anything about DC, it is not a safe city. The Mayor Bowser down there, man, these soft on crime, defund the police cities, hey, very difficult to visit. You got to keep your head on a swivel down there, man. You got to keep your head on a swivel. This young man stood up to a violent group to protect someone else and got brutally beaten for it. And yet again, there's no outrage from mainstream media. No outrage from mainstream media. Fox covered it for sure. But CNN, MSDNC, crickets. You get nothing out of these people. Nothing. What's up, Carol? How you doing? Why the silence, though? I mean, this happened in the nation's capital. I mean, it's a major story by any standard, but because it doesn't fit the narrative, they downplay it or ignore it altogether. Meanwhile, Trump didn't hesitate. Just hours after the news broke, he took to Truth Social, calling the situation in D.C. He called it out of control. And honestly, he's not wrong. Y'all seen the Truth Social that I put up there. He specifically mentioned this attack and said that, hey, if the city leaders don't get a handle on things, he'll have no choice but to federalize the District of Columbia and run it the way it's supposed to be run. I mean, it's really ridiculous, what's going on in D.C. Again, if you guys hadn't been to D.C., I'm not suggesting that you go because it is not a safe place. I try my best to stay out of D.C., to be honest with you. I really do. Hey, people offer me tickets to Wizards games and stuff. I turn that down all the time for a multitude of reasons, not just the crime and stuff like that, but the parking's ridiculous. You go down there, man, you're going to pay $40 a park. Traffic's insane. And you got to deal with these young folks out here acting the fool. Thank you, Dr. Kyla. There's violence and homelessness. I'm assuming that's what you meant. Rule in DC. Yeah, Mayor Bowser has done a terrible job. Bethesda's not too bad. But that's also not DC. Bethesda's not DC. Bethesda's Maryland. It's if I'm not mistaken, I believe Bethesda is Montgomery County, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, Bethesda's fine. You go to Bethesda, you're gonna be fine. They make sure that they keep that area protected, and Bethesda's a pretty hoity-toity, to be honest with you. There's no poor people. There's no people that have under 500 credit scores. That's an 800 credit score part of the country or part of the state out there in Bethesda. You go out there, you're not gonna have any problems in Bethesda. I promise you that much. But I want you guys to hear what President Trump had to say about this.
To say that somebody from Doge was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. A young man who was beat up by a bunch of thugs in D.C. And either they're going to straighten their act out in the terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run.
Yeah, DC's a mess, man. What's up, Kenneth? How you doing, brother? DC is a mess. It's on there. It's on the list as one of the most dangerous cities in the country. Now, make that make sense. The nation's capital is on the list of one of the most dangerous cities in the country. It's wild. And to be honest with you, man, Trump, he's on to something. I ain't even gonna say he might be on to something. He is on to something. If you guys, got any way to just watch DC news, man, it's wild in DC. And it is completely out of control. And it's mainly the youngins. Not to say that adults aren't doing things, but it's wild how many children are committing carjackings and assaults, robberies. It's wild in DC. Not too long ago, they just had some kids that carjacked. I think it was an elderly man or an elderly woman. I can't recall. But these kids, they were under 15 years old. I mean, it's wild in DC. It really is, man. So if you go to DC, I would suggest that you stay in the touristy areas and don't be out on the late night tip. I'm just saying. Stay in the touristy areas. If you go down around the monuments, National Mall, you stay over in there. For the most part, you're going to be fine. There you go, Dagny Taggart. Yeah, it was two young ladies at that. So if you want to go to DC, I'm not saying don't go. If you want to go check out the monuments, you want to go to the National Mall, all that kind of good stuff, I think it's fine. You want to go to the African American Museum, it's phenomenal. You want to go to, I believe they have a large Bible museum down there, fine. If you want to do that, I don't see an issue with that. Be prepared to spend some bread though, because that parking is expensive. Goodness gracious. $40 to park just about everywhere in DC. And hey, they are on your head if you act like you're going to park wrong. Act like you're not going to pay. Okay. But hey, I don't necessarily have an issue with the president saying that, hey, we might have to get the federal government to step in because Mayor Bowser has done a terrible job. But this is par for the course for almost every major Democrat-ran city across the country. You name it. If it's Democrat-ran, it's probably very dangerous. If it's Democrat-ran, it's probably very dangerous. We can go down the list. Memphis being number one. Memphis right now on the list, if I'm not mistaken, when the list just came out, Memphis was considered one of the most dangerous cities in the country. Democrat red. Baltimore City is number 4. Chicago's on that list. LA's on that list. St. Louis on that list. New Orleans on that list. I could keep going. These are all Democrat-ran cities. If they're ran by them, hey, these are some dangerous places. And the crazy thing is that if Democrats can't keep the streets safe in the nation's capital, then yeah, somebody else needs to. Somebody's got to step in and do something. Yeah, Detroit's on that list. Yeah, Flint's on that list as well, Dr. Kyla. Now, of course, You got the usual spin coming out, hey, violent crime is down 26% this year. Y'all know they be juking the numbers. But sanitized stats don't tell the entire story. Context does matter. And back in 2012, DC saw fewer than 100 homicides somewhere in the 80s. Fast forward to 2023, and that number is shot up over 274. And this year, hey, they're already at 98, and they're halfway through the year. They're already at 98, halfway through the year. So I guess they could say, yeah, the numbers are down in comparison to what they've previously been. But at this pace, they're probably more than double the 2012 account by year's end. So yeah, maybe there's been, a slight dip, like I said, a slight dip from last year's chaos, but don't insult our intelligence by acting like things are just fine while people are still, getting shot, stabbed, and carjacked in broad daylight, I might add. And speaking of carjackings, nearly 60% of those arrested for carjacking in DC are children. They're juveniles. That's not normal, man. DC arrests 52 out of 1,000 youth. Hey, it nearly doubles the national average. I mean, this is a full-blown youth crime crisis in the nation's capital. And the worst part is the system babysits these violent teens. The DC Attorney General claims that they'll prosecute when the evidence is strong, but how many innocent people need to suffer before they actually do something? If you commit adult crimes, honestly, I think you should face adult consequences. Seriously. So I don't think Trump is wrong. But of course, the media had to jump in. You got Morning Joe's. Joe Scarborough tried to mock Trump, calling the move a personal vendetta. But then get this, he actually said he doesn't understand why the government isn't more involved in DC's safety. Which one is it? Hey, Joe, welcome to the party. The guy's ridiculous, man. He really is. Ridiculous.
In Illinois. Take a look at this. Look at.
Goodness gracious. Where's my video at? Oh, there we go. Sorry about that, guys.
Policy in politics. I mean, you don't federalize a city because a person got beaten up. Yeah, it's terrible what happened, and it happens every day in Washington, D.C., not just when it happens to somebody that Donald Trump knows. And I have wondered for years why the federal government that funds D.C. doesn't take a more active role in the safety and security of Washington, D.C. in a partnership. Donald Trump is so worried about what's going on in Los Angeles. You don't have to bring out the National Guard. You don't have to bring out the Marines to make streets safer in cities. And they weren't needed out in Los Angeles. But there does need to be a stronger partnership between the federal government and Washington, D.C. It's the nation's capital. And for too many people, Washington is too dangerous of a place. And I'm not just talking about this year. I'm not just talking about the past 5 years. I'm talking about the past 25 years, the past 50 years. And if you have something that's the nation's capital, then Congress needs to increase funding for security and for safety. And yeah, I think the federal government needs to play a more active role. People need to be able to go to the nation's capital and feel like they are safe. That doesn't happen right now. And anybody putting statistics out that'll tell you today that Washington is safe, oh, it's safe. No, it's not. It's not safe street to street. It's not safe for tourists. It's not safe for students. It's not safe for anybody that goes there. So compared to 1974, yeah, it's safer than it was in 1974. Congratulations. Safer than when The Exorcist was filmed. Congratulations. But it's the nation's capital. And the city council there is not doing a good enough job. And the mayor's not doing a good enough job in keeping Washington safe. And by the way, there are a long line of city officials that have not done a good enough job keeping the nation's capital safe. So anyway, that's where I am. I think most people that live and work in Washington, D.C. agree with me because every time I'm there, I hear it from people in all walks of life.
Hey, it's wild in D.C., man. It is wild in D.C. Now, you got a lot of folks, they'll be butthurt about it. You know, if President Trump decided to take it over and say, hey, man, we're going to fix this. If they decided to do that, you'd have a lot of people up in arms about it. But to be honest with you, something's got to shake. When you got that many children committing these types of crimes, where are the parents at? Parents aren't parenting in D.C. And to be honest with you, parents aren't parenting in a lot of places around the country, to be honest with you. So Joe Scarborough says that he wants a partnership, but that reveals, a deeper contradiction. On one hand, he blasts Trump for personalizing policy, yet he admits he doesn't understand why the federal government isn't more involved in D.C. safety. What do you want? I mean, it's not just ironic. It's proof of how disconnected the media and the political elite are from reality. And here's the truth. DC's Democrat leaders have never shown any real interest in working with the president. Mayor Bowser and the city council, they've actively resisted federal involvement at every turn. They've had plenty of time to reverse their soft on crime policies, and they've chosen not to. And that's why you have crazy things like this happening in DC on a day-to-day basis, almost on an hour-to-hour basis out there, to be honest with you. So why not bring in the big guns? The city is in chaos right now, and it's not just about a viral video. It's about a Capitol where even government workers aren't safe, and leadership gaslights the public while innocent people get hurt. And let's be clear, Edward Quarterstein, he deserves a medal. He risked his life. He could have gotten himself killed, to be honest with you. He risked his life to protect someone else, and that's real courage. But the media, they spin it. And the politicians, they deflect. But over here, we're gonna keep talking about it. We got to keep telling the truth. DC, it's broken. And a lot of these Democrat-ran cities are broken. And if the people in charge won't fix it, maybe it's time to get someone in there who will. Again, you go down the list of some of the most dangerous cities in the country. There's one common denominator there. There's one common denominator. They're all ran by Democrats. And I'm not just talking about the mayor. I'm talking about the mayor, city council, the police chiefs, it's Democrat all the way down. Their policies are terrible. I bet you guys didn't know this. In Maryland, thankfully, it got shot down. But in Maryland, they wanted to consider people juveniles from 25 down. So you could be 25 years old and be considered a juvenile in the state of Maryland. That's what they wanted to do. That's what they wanted to do. Fortunately, it got shot down. They didn't want to charge people as adults, even though they are adults at 23, 24 years old. They wanted to charge them as juveniles. I just don't understand these people, man. I really don't. It makes, sometimes, man, these people that put forth these policies, it just makes you wonder, like, what are these people thinking? They wanted to allow people as old as 25 to be prosecuted as juveniles. Now, I see the police blotter. I'm connected, and I got plugged in with the police blotter and stuff like that. So I see what's going on. Man, it's so much craziness going on. 17, 18, 21, 22, 24. But they wanted to charge these people as juveniles. Fortunately, it got shot down. It didn't make it through. But, I mean, come on, man. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. And soft on crime policies, they don't work. They don't work. I mean, the prison industrial system, they know how many beds they need to have prepared based on the reading and the math grades, or test scores of third graders. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at the test scores from third graders to determine how many beds they're going to have for prisons. They've gotten this down to a science. Say that in the grand scheme of things, the prison population is actually coming down, but in a lot of these cities, for the children, we'll just talk about the children for a second. In a lot of these cities, man, there's no rec centers, there's no Boys and Girls Club, there's no Ys. There's nothing for these children to do. So, when you don't give them anything to do, what they say, what's that old phrase? Idle time is the devil's playground. You gotta keep these kids involved. On top of that, man, we need parents to do their job, raising their children. We have entirely too many children being raised in single family led households. And unfortunately, it's single mothers. And we've got a chance to see it. It's not working. It's not working. There you go. Idle hands is the devil's workshop. Absolutely. It's not working, man. Seriously. Things got to change, man. Things have to change. And finally, I want to talk about Texas. We've been talking about Texas for the past couple of days this week, and I guess over the weekend. But I want to continue that conversation there. I want to talk about Texas, where Democrats have officially lost the plot. They're done. They're cooked. They know that they're done, and they know that they're cooked. They know it. They know it. So you got the Democrats out in Texas. They're now comparing redistricting to the Holocaust. I mean, these people are ridiculous, man. Can we let this this Holocaust Hitler talk in comparison to what's going on in American politics? That needs to go away. I don't think a lot of people listen to this stuff anymore. I don't think they do. Before I keep going, let me show some love. Shout out to Dr. Kyla with the dollar super sticker. Thank you very much. And shout out to D. Surrey with the $20 super chat. It says, this is the result of a society straying further and further away from God, and people who call themselves Christians watering his word down to fit their narrative. You get no argument from me on that one, brother. You get zero argument from me on that. There are entirely too many Christians in name only. There's a lot of people, they rocking their crosses and, but they're not living it. They're not living it. They're not really walking in it. I do agree with you, Queen Bee. I think the 10 Commandments need to be taught. They took prayer out of school, took the 10 Commandments out of school, and look at where our schools have gone. Oh, I'm sorry, D. Surrey, sister. Sorry about that. I just made an assumption. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have did that. My apologies. But these folks comparing everything to Hitler, I think a lot of people are numb to it, man. I think a lot of people are numb to it at this point. These folks have literally taken a routine political process, and likened it to one of the worst atrocities in human history. You can't make this stuff up, man. We're going to break it down in a moment. But first, here's what's actually going on. So Texas Democrats, they're throwing yet another legislative tantrum, and this one might cost them nearly $400,000. Earlier this week, over 50 Texas House Democrats packed their bags and fled the state in an attempt to block a Republican-backed redistricting plan. Now, mind you, when these people fled the state, they jumped in a private jet costing around $15,000 an hour, talking about they are doing this to support their constituents. It's crazy. The redistricting plan that they're so up in arms about, it is supported by President Trump, and they're stating that it would create 5 new GOP-leaning congressional seats. The goal is to secure the House majority ahead of 2026. That's the strategy. Break quorum. That's the Democrat strategy. The Texas House needs 100 out of 150 members present to conduct business. So what do the Democrats do? They jet off to a blue state. They hide out in places like Illinois, New York, Massachusetts, states that are ironically notorious for gerrymandering. And that brings us to the punchline. Fleeing to a place like Illinois is absolutely hilarious. I mean, just look at the Illinois congressional map. I mean, it looks like someone spilled spaghetti on a map and called it representation. I mean, it is flat out ridiculous what is going on right now, man. Seriously. And let's not talk about Beto. You know what I'm saying?
In Illinois. Take a look at this. Look at 17 here. It does that. Then it comes up here and it sneaks around there and goes all the way up here and then goes right over there like that. And look at this one, kind of goes whoop up there. It's like the stinger on a scorpion down here. Is this common for all states to do?
Well, we handed it over to a kindergarten class and let them decide.
Okay, and that's the not.
I mean, it feels like everybody cheats. Shout out to something out in 1984 with the $2 super chat says, need to hold the parents accountable. Thank you. I agree with that. But it feels like everybody does this. But Texas cheats in a way that we don't like, so it's obviously wrong. I mean, the hypocrisy with these people is laughable. Even Colbert took shots at Pritzker. And that tells you how cartoonish their scams have gotten at this point, man. Now, under Texas House rules, any lawmaker who ditches their duty gets hit with a $500 a day fine. To break quorum, they need at least 51 Democrats skipping town. That's $25,500 a day in fines. On Monday alone, 57 were AWOL, racking up a cool $28,000 in a single day. Keep it up until the session ends on August 19th, and we're looking at nearly $400,000 in penalties. But are they worried? They're not worried about this. They're brushing it off like, hey, we'll just deal with that later. Texas Representative John Boosie, he even had the nerve to say stopping Trump's so-called power grab is more important than the consequences. These people are ridiculous. This is the same group screaming about defending democracy while literally abandoning their jobs and stalling legislation that actually matters to Texans. Their priorities, it's not their constituents. It's just more performative grandstanding. And let's talk about the Holocaust comparison for a quick second. They really went there. I would say this is unbelievable, but this is their go-to. They went there. Texas Democrats, some of them anyway, are equating redistricting to one of the worst genocides in human history. And when I saw the headline, my first thought was, Jasmine Crockett must be making her rounds again on MSDNC, because only Jasmine Crockett would say something just that outrageously dumb with a straight face. Only Jasmine Crockett would do something along those lines, right?
has nothing of substance to contribute when it comes to critiquing me. There's a lot that I talk about. For instance, we've just had an entire conversation about gerrymandering and redistricting and why it's bad. And instead of him being able to elaborate on the fact that I'm unable to make a cogent argument or something like that, and then back into his argument that I'm low IQ, he just knows how to throw that insult, but it's a common insult when it comes to people of color. He just threw the same exact insults as Charlemagne the God. And so I want people to see him and understand who he is. This is a person that has a problem with people of color, period. I don't care how many black MAGA out there with their hats. I want to be clear, when we look at who it is that he's kicking out of this country is people of color. When we look at who he always disrespects and says that they are low IQ, even though when you look at his cabinet, this has to be the most incompetent cabinet we have ever had in the history of this country. When we're talking about people that literally have the ability to drop bombs or order that bombs be dropped or make recommendations that bombs be dropped, and they literally don't know how to get the signal chat right. So we're talking about low IQ individuals, but so long as they say that this guy is their guy, and usually if they work for a certain news network, that's the only qualification that's necessary. I've got news for the president. I am not going anywhere. No matter how many squiggly lines they draw in the state of Texas, I will be back and I will be on his behind and making sure the real accountability that the American people are demanding, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, or independents, that it is had when the Democrats take control of this House in the midterms.
Yeah, I told y'all she's cosplaying hood. That ain't real. Hey, I got to say it, though. President Trump, he cut her deep when he called her low IQ. He got her. I don't think she's going to get over that one. I don't think she's going to get over that one. But yeah, when I heard what our friends over on the left had been comparing this redistricting situation to, I thought to myself, I mean, it's got to be Jasmine, right? It's got to be. It has to be Jasmine Crockett, but I was wrong. It looks like there's a new and improved version in the Texas House. Texas State Representative Jolanda Jones, who has no problem drawing the most insane of comparisons. She might beat Jasmine Crockett or Crash Out for the Worst Takes Award. You guys got to hear it for yourself. I'm sorry, this is a Don Lemon sighting.
Integration happened and everybody thought they accept us. They don't accept us. They are showing us who they are. We should believe them. And we better have the courage to stand up. Otherwise, we will fall for anything. And in this country, we will be defeated, deported. I mean, we will lose all of our rights. And if you think it can't happen, it can. And I will liken this to the Holocaust. People are like, well, how did the Holocaust happen? How was somebody in a position to kill all them people? Well, good people remain silent. Or good people didn't realize that what happens to them can very soon happen to me or somebody I love. And so even if you made it, man, you have an obligation to help people who can't, because God forbid they end up targeting you and your family.
If you let someone talk long enough, I say it all the time, they'll show you exactly who they are. Will somebody please tell the Democrat Party that the Nazi Party and the Democrat Party are basically one in the same? They are in lockstep with each other. Seriously? Will somebody inform these ignorant people that the Nazi Party got its tactics from the Democrat Party? Will somebody please tell them? Seriously. Sometimes, man, I just sit back, and I just wonder, like, how in the world did we get here? How casually do they just throw around Holocaust comparisons every time things don't go their way? I mean, it's not just offensive, it's intellectually lazy and historically reckless. I mean, Democrats run into political trouble and suddenly everyone they don't like is Hitler. Really? Now let's get this straight, man. Trump hasn't killed anyone. He hasn't rounded up entire groups or enacted policies resembling genocide. It hasn't happened. And to be honest with you, he doesn't even have the ability to do it. Our system doesn't even allow a president to be a dictator. What are we talking about here? Congress writes the laws. Executive orders can be overturned by the courts. The Supreme Court constantly checks the executive branch. So this whole Trump, Hitler, orange man bad narrative, I mean, it's not just false. It's just a pure scare tactic. I mean, this is what you call pure emotional manipulation. And why do they keep doing it? Because Hitler is the most emotionally loaded comparison that you can make. And the crazy thing is that Hitler isn't the only dictator that's ever existed. I mean, that just goes to show you how low IQ a lot of these people are. They never bring up Mao or Stalin. We could keep going. They never do. But they bring up Hitler because they know that's the one that hits the hardest. At least that's what they think anyway. But honestly, if Democrats didn't have race baiting or fear mongering, they'd have no message at all. And then here's the hypocrisy. Yolanda Jones is out here screaming about oppression and Holocaust level tactics. Meanwhile, we got to talk gerrymandering, because if redrawing districts is genocide, then what exactly was Maryland, New Mexico, Oregon, and Illinois doing? In Maryland, Democrats in 2011, they wiped out a Republican district, stacking the deck 7-1 in a supposedly competitive state. We're supposed to be a purple state. There are a lot of Republicans in this state, but we have very little representation because of the way that they've drawn the maps. We have very little representation in this state. New Mexico in 2021 flipped a red district blue to lock in a 3-0 sweep, one of the states that have zero Republican representation. Oregon, they ignored a bipartisan deal to push a 5-1 Democrat map. In Illinois, let's not even get started on Illinois. They turned a nearly even state into a 14-3 Democrat stronghold by redrawing Republican districts out of existence. By their own logic, wouldn't that be systematic erasure? Again, yesterday we talked about this. There are 8 states right now that have zero Republican representation right now. 8. There are 8 states with zero Republican representation right now. All because of gerrymandering. And let's be real, man. Jones, like Jasmine Crockett, is just another Trojan horse, always talking about race, but pushing the alphabet community agenda under the radar. These folks don't represent the Black community. They represent whoever signs their checks, because no one in their right mind makes comparisons that wild unless they're being fed the lines. And now she's coming for Governor Abbott. Oh, I'm a lawyer. Oh, I know better. Okay, well, I need you guys to see this, man. These people are ridiculous, man. They really are.
Lawyer, a part of my practice is criminal defense work. There is no felony in the Texas Penal Code for what he says. So respectfully, he's making up some shit, okay? He's trying to get sound bites, and he has no legal mechanism. And if he did, subpoenas from Texas don't work in New York. So he gonna come get us how? Subpoenas in Texas don't work in Chicago. He's gonna come get us how? So let me be clear. He's putting up smoke and mirrors. And I'm hopeful that the media doesn't follow that. I will also say this.
This is another puppet. This is another puppet. This is another puppet right here. Jasmine Crash Out Crockett 2.0. Now, she just came out recently, part of the alphabet community. This is a person that's pro-alphabet community and pro-illegal immigrants. Pro-alphabet community and pro-illegal immigrants. No one should take this individual seriously. No one should. I mean, this is all political theater, man. It's all political theater. That's all they know. And thankfully, Governor Abbott is not playing games with these people. He's warning the Democrats that they will be found and brought back to Texas. He's not playing around with these folks, man. And I'm glad he's not.
You here on the show, you heard the reaction there from some of your fellow governors. What do you say?
Some very rich hypocrisy on their part. There are no states more gerrymandered than California and Illinois and New York. In Illinois, I think they may have maybe 3 congressional seats for Republicans, despite the fact that Trump won more than 40% of the vote there. Same thing applies in states like California and New York. I don't think those states can gerrymander any more than they have. What Texas is doing, actually, we are drawing districts to provide every voter in the state the opportunity to cast a vote for the party and candidate of their choice. 4 of the 5 districts we're drawing, they're going to be Hispanic districts. They happen to be Hispanic Republican districts. One is going to restore the Barbara Jordan district in Harris County, Texas. And so what Democrats are really concerned about, if you look under the hood, is the fact that Hispanics and even black voters are voting more for Republicans than they have for Democrats in the past. The results of President Trump's electoral victory prove that. You have a map up, and it's a map of districts. But the fact of the matter is, if you look at the map of the presidential election, you'll see all across the border counties, President Trump won those counties, which are heavily Hispanic counties. Hispanics now vote Republican, and Democrats are losing it because of that.
Let's talk about the Democrats who have fled the state of Texas for a moment, Governor. On Sunday, you suggested they could, citing an attorney general opinion, be arrested and replaced for abandoning their office. Earlier today, I spoke to Representative Oliverson here in Texas, and he made me aware, which I was not aware, that some of the Democrats who are not showing up for a quorum are actually still here in the state. So is it the case that you could actually arrest those representatives and bring them back to Austin to establish a quorum?
So that is correct. And, Will, as we're talking right now, Texas Department of Public Safety officers are on the streets looking for those Democrat House members to arrest them and to take them to the Texas Capitol and hold them there until a quorum is reached.
All right. And that may, I'm not sure how many, can you tell me how many different representatives that we're talking about are in the state of Texas? I believe you're 6 short right now of a quorum. Would that number bring you to a quorum?
So that's a fact that we don't know yet. We don't know which Democrats remain in the state who are not yet identified. We don't know exactly how many are out of state. But know this also, Will, and that is, the Texas Department of Public Safety is also working with officials in other states to find ways in which we can try to arrest the Texas Democrat members in other states and bring them back to the state of Texas.
Lock them up. Lock them up. Arrest them all. They're not doing their jobs, so hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. Enough with the political theater. Either enforce the law or vacate their seats. Make an example out of these people. What we're watching again is the Democrats trying to rig the system or throw a tantrum when they lose. Governor Kathy Hochul, she's openly talking about bypassing New York's Constitution to redraw congressional maps. Illinois, California, they're right behind her. And now Massachusetts governor is threatening to do the same, but for what? They don't have Republican representation in the state of Massachusetts. These people are stupid. And the reality of it is this: they don't care about the American people. Their goal is power. The rules are just speed bumps. And their excuse is Trump. As always, he's always the boogeyman. But Trump responded to these folks as well. Let's take a listen to him.
If Texas redrawing their congressional map would get you 5 safe red seats, means that California, New York, Illinois, and Maryland are all going to redraw their maps to add safe.
Well, they'll do it anyway.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, they'll do it anyway. Why? If we stop over there, they would have done it anyway. Look, a lot of these states, I watched this morning as Democrats are complaining, and they're complaining from states where they've done it, like in Illinois, like in Massachusetts. I watched this lunatic, Pocahontas. She's a total lunatic. I don't know what she's on. She's all jumping up and down like I've never seen anything like it, talking about supporting the communist mayor. And he's not a socialist. He's a communist, okay? This is not a socialist mayor. This is a communist. If you look at any of his policies, and go back 6 months. You don't even have to go back further than that. So they want to put a communist in New York. Now, the good news is we have a lot of power over that because we're the ones with the money. We send the money. We don't send the money. It's up to the White House. A lot of power in the White House. But when I watched her jumping up and down talking about that and supporting the communists, but if you look at what's going on with the redistricting or whatever you want to call it, the Democrats have done it long before we started. They've done it all over the place. They did it in New York. They did it in a lot of different states. But in Massachusetts, so somebody used this as an example today. I was interviewed this morning, and they said, you know, it's pretty unfair. Trump got 40%. I'm not proud of that, but I think I probably got more, but that's okay. I got 40% in Massachusetts, and yet they have 100% of the vote in terms of Congress. So there's no Republican, there's no anything. So we should have 40%. You know why? They redistricted. And they've done it all over the place. And they've done it in California, by the way. Before this, they've done it in California. So we'll.
Yeah. Again, like I said, there are 8 states right now with no Republican representation. 0. And I didn't even go down the list of how many states where there's only one person, like here in Maryland, where they only got 1 representative. Seriously. I just don't, I understand them. I can't say that I just don't understand them, but I mean, the hypocrisy is on 1,000 and they don't even care. They don't even care. I mean, it's just wild to me. And the reality is this. We've been on the defense for entirely too long. It's time to fight fire with fire. It's time to play hardball and take control. The idea that Democrats will do it if we do, that idea, in my opinion, it's got to be dead. Assume that they're going to do anything for power because they've shown themselves to be that. And right now, Texas Democrats are holding their own state hostage, spitting in the face of the voters who put them there in the first place. They're racking up fines that they can't afford, bending the law just to protect their seats and appease their out-of-state donors. This isn't about democracy. It's about raw political power. And if they think that they can dodge Governor Abbott and the will of Texas voters, I think they're in for a rude awakening. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. I want to hear from you guys in the chat. I want to see these people. Honestly, I don't want them arrested. I want the seats vacated. Let's get some special elections going. Redistrict it and let's get some special elections going. That's what I want to see. I don't care nothing about them going to jail or anything along those lines. Nah, go ahead and vacate the seats, redistrict, and let's get special elections going at the end of the year. How about that? Makes complete sense to me. I mean, these people, they're such hypocrites, man. How many states, y'all believe this? Think about this, man. More than 10% of the country has 0 representation in their state. Think about that, man. More than 10%. Shout out to Hunter with the $10 super chat. Says Republicans need to keep this momentum. We got them concerned. No need to get complacent or give them an opening to escape. Give them an opening to escape to cause more problems. Absolutely. Well, we talked about this, I don't know, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago or so. We were talking about these midterms. Hey, don't get complacent. We got to keep our foot on their necks. Don't get complacent and think, oh, President Trump's in there. Nah, we got to show up and show out next November. Seriously. We got to show up and show out next November. Do not get complacent just because President Trump is in office. The midterm election is extremely important. Shout out to Marla with the $2 super chat. Says Prickster thinks he's funny, but he's the joke. Hey, Jesse Waters called him JB Racks. JB Rack of Ribs. Shout out to Hunter being a member for 3 months, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, Jesse Waters called that dude JB Racks Ribs. But yeah, man. Zephyr, you're absolutely right. We can't rest on our laurels. We can't. We gotta keep the pressure. Got to keep the momentum going. Do not let up. And, as we get closer and closer to the midterms, we got to keep talking about it. We got to get people out the same way people came out during the election last year. Folks got to get out. People got to understand that these people are wicked. Y'all see the policies that they're pushing. Y'all see what they want to do. It's wild. But I appreciate y'all pulling up this morning. Shout out to Spaces with the $2 super chat. Says, this sounds like parents abandoning their child. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you. With that being said, man, we're going to get out of here tomorrow morning, man. Panel show tomorrow. Y'all might as well go and get your coffee. Buckle up. It's going to be a long ride. Expect it. It's probably going to be a 2.5, 3 hour show tomorrow. I got my guy, Jason from the J Witt podcast pulling up. I got Crystal from Crystal Beyond Labels pulling up. I got my guy, Chris from the Chris Highland Show or Courageous Media pulling up tomorrow. We got a few guests. So hope you guys enjoy the Friday panel shows. I think I told you guys this, but going forward, Fridays are going to be they're going to be panel shows. So just prepare. They're going to be long, but they're normally good. They're normally good. They're going to be good. So appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. If you haven't done so already, man, hit that like button on the way out the building. Shout out to all my ARP family members. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody who supported the channel financially today. Go down, go buy you some merch. Go get you a Pray Don't Worry t-shirt. Go get you a Post Woke America t-shirt. Go support the channel in that way. What else? Obviously, if you haven't joined the ARP family, you should do so. Make sure you pull up 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do this Monday through Friday. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hey, Mike C, I'm working on the topics today for tomorrow's show. I'll be working on that. Hey, we on a skeleton crew over here, brother. We on a skeleton crew. We can only work one day at a time, man. I got to get prepared for it. Yesterday was getting prepared for today. And actually yesterday and this morning was getting prepared for today. We're not like Colbert, getting paid $20 million, got 300 people on staff, got 1,000 writers. We don't have that. This is completely bootstrapped. Hey, I tell y'all all the time, man, we building the plane as we fly it. We are building the plane as we fly it. We're completely bootstrapped over here. Hey, Stephen Colbert, man. Stephen Colbert got all those people working for him. They still losing $40 million. Still losing $40 million a daggone year. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, man. So we bootstrapping over here, man. Bootstrapping. Just so y'all know, we're getting it out the mud. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kiddo said, I got Brother Wise got to work for a living. You absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Now, I will say this, mainstream media, they're obviously, they're on the downhill end of things. These late night shows, they're pretty much done. Who's watching those things, man? I mean, you literally, when you think about it, if you look at the numbers, you got people, on YouTube doing better numbers, making a lot less money than a lot of these shows on mainstream media. When you think about it, in the grand scheme of things. Just saying. But I appreciate you guys pulling up, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up, hanging out with me this morning. Again, like I said, make sure you hit that like button on the way out the building. All right. Keep God first, stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time, man. Y'all make sure y'all pull up tomorrow, man. It's going to be a great show. Be prepared. Get your coffee ready. Appreciate you guys, man. God bless you guys, man. Y'all take care. Peace.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones rise. Let the fake ones split. let the darkness